Hello, students. Okay, so now we are starting with our session 4, that is your basic writing skills. As we all know how important our written communication is, right? Like we discussed about the verbal communication in the first session, okay, and then in that we discussed about the written communication and the oral communication. So now we will be basically discussing about the written communication, why it is very important, and what are the basic writing skills which we should actually follow. Okay, so basically what I want to tell you here is that writing is a skill. Okay, it is a skill which can be attained. Okay, there is a talent which is by default in you, but a skill can always be maintained and a skill can always be improved and developed. Okay, so let's start. Writing is a skill, not a talent, and this difference is important because the skill can be improved. It is written by Robert Stacy McCain. So, as I already told you, it is a simple, normal skill. If you'll practice, you will be able to attain that. Okay, like the way you practice maths. So, if you'll practice writing, you will be able to have a good writing skill. Written communication is one of the most effective mode of communication. We all know that because it's not just that the written communication is there. When we are writing something, when we are documenting something, so we can use it for the further use as well. And the credibility, which we discussed in the previous sessions as well, the credibility also increases, right, of the written communication. So the written communication is one of the most effective mode of communication, as it not only helps convey the message. If it is a communication, the channel is basically used to communicate something, to transfer some message, but also document for future use. The effectiveness of written content matter depends on the right choices of words. Basically, its effectiveness, okay, it depends on what kind of words you are using, your vocabulary, the logics between the sentence sequence, like how sequentially you have written the sentences. Correct grammar should be there should not be any grammatical mistakes or spellings and punctuation marks mistake. So all these things are to be kept in mind. Documents such as email, notes, memos, letters, reports require good writing skills. If you have to write an email, you need a good writing skill. Notes, memos, letters, for everything. Okay. Therefore, it is important to learn the skill of writing. That is why it is very important that you should definitely have that writing skills. Okay, because you have to write letters. Like if you grow older also, then also if you have some work in Nagar Nigam or your municipal department, electricity department, wherever it is, then you have to write a letter. In banks also you have to write a letter. So letter writing is also very important. Now moving on to your phrases. What is a phrase? You all must be knowing what we are discussing in this chapter, bacha. You already know in detail. Your English teachers have really worked hard, okay, in teaching you all these things, phrases, sentences, clauses, everything, okay. So here we will be only revising it quickly, okay. Okay, so what is a phrase? Phrase is basically a group of related words, okay. It is like there are 3-4 words which tells you a partial meaning, okay. They will not be having a complete meaning in it. They will not be having the subject in it. They will not be having a verb in it, okay. They will be giving a partial information, okay. A phrase is a group of related words within a sentence without both a subject and a verb. It is a part of a sentence, okay. It is basically a part of your sentence and does not express the complete meaning, but it will not be giving you the complete meaning of it. A group of words in the field makes some sense, right, but does not convey the complete meaning. Like who is in the field, in which field, nothing is mentioned, but in the field, okay. So it is giving you a partial meaning, okay. More examples: in the last hour, across the ocean, under the tree, to play hockey, baking cakes, the brown hat. There are n number of examples. Okay, next moving on to your clauses. Read the following sentences first. Ria lives in a house which is made of woods. Ria lives in a wooden house. In the first sentence, the group of words which is made of wood has a subject which. Okay, there is a subject there which, and a predicate. It is made of wood. That is your predicate, and is thus called a clause. When your subject and predicate they combine together, that is your clause. Basically, clause is a condition. So in this sentence, Ria lives in a house which is made of wood. Which is made of wood is a condition, it is a clause. In the second sentence, the group of words wooden house is a phrase. Okay, since it does not have a subject and a predicate of its own. Okay, therefore a clause can be defined as a group of words that form part of a sentence and has a subject and predicate of its own. A group of words which is actually a part of sentence is your phrase, but a phrase having a subject and a predicate of its own is your clause. A clause may stand as a simple sentence or may join another clause to make a sentence. It can be a simple sentence also, and it can join the other sentence also. Okay, anything can be there. Therefore, a sentence consists of two or more clauses. A sentence can be of one clause also, two or more clauses as well. The teacher laughed at the joke. One clause, teacher laughed. I'll wait till he comes. Two clauses, I'll wait and till he comes. Okay, now your sentences. Read the following group of words. First is, my uncle is an engineer. The boy with the ball in his hand. Give me that book. That fruit in the fruits in the basket. The little boy sat in the corner. Boys school. Sit garden. The group of words in point 1, 3 and 5 make complete sense. Right? My uncle is an engineer. It is making a complete sense out of it. Okay? Then your sentence number 3, give me that book. You're telling the other person that book you give me. Okay? Then your sentence number 5, the little boy sat in the corner. Okay? So it is giving you a complete meaning. Okay, so it is a proper sentence. The group of words in points 2, 4, 6 are list of words put together, do not collectively make sense. If you'll see that the sentences on 2nd, 4th and 6th place, they are not making the complete sense, so they are not the sentences. A sentence is the statement which actually makes the complete sense. Thus, a sentence is a group of words that makes a complete sense and expresses a complete thought. Okay, now moving on to the next topic, that is your parts of a sentence. Okay, a sentence can be divided into 3 parts. First of all, you need to remember this. Okay, first is your subject, second is your verb, and third is your object. Okay, subject, we all know that. What is the subject? The person or a thing about whom that sentence is. Okay, a person or a thing that performs an action. It tells about the who and what of the sentence. Next is verb, which describes the action. We all know that what a verb is. Next is object, the person or thing that receives the action. The sun shines, that is a sentence. Subject is sun. Okay, verb shine, object is nothing in that. She opened the door. She is the subject. Opened, opening. Okay, action it is. So it is a verb. The door, the person, the thing which is receiving that action is your object. Divya is singing a song. Divya, subject, singing, verb, object is your a song. The object is a sentence. The objects in a sentence are of 2 types. Direct object, okay, that is directly acted on by the action word or the verb, and indirect objects answer to the question such as whom and for whom. Okay. Next, subject he, verb gave, indirect object verb plus to whom by whom, me, direct object a book. He gave me a book. Okay. She bought the child a doll. She, subject, verb is your bought. Okay, because as she bought that. The child for whom the action was, that is your about whom, that's the indirect object, and the direct object is the doll. The doll is being bought, so that's why the doll is your direct object. I struck him a blow. I, object, subject, sorry, verb is your struck. Him, indirectly it is going there, so that is your indirect object, and the direct object is a blow. It is important that you use correct words in a sentence to convey clear and complete meaning. It is very important that you should use right words, correct words. Okay. A sentence begins with a capital letter. We all know that whenever we are writing a new sentence, so a capital letter is used. Okay. Now your punctuation marks. Punctuation marks, we all know that full stop, comma, question mark, exclamation, apostrophe, inverted commas. These are all your punctuation marks which are used to make a sentence with a better meaning, okay, to make better sentences. First is full stop. Why do we use full stop? To end the sentence, to separate the date from the year also. After abbreviation of name, title and degrees, then also we use full stop. So these are the uses of your full stop. Next is comma, to separate more than two words in a series. Like if you have to separate two words and if you have to join two sentences, then we use your comma. To separate words, pair of words, phrases and clause. To separate a question tag from a statement. Okay, whenever you have to separate the question tag, question mark from there, then also you use a comma. Like the example are, yes, she is in the house. Next is your question mark. At the end of the question, whenever you are asking a question, you will be using a question mark. When is he coming? What are you doing? When will you submit me your homework? All these are your questions, so it is a question mark. Next is your exclamation mark. It is used at the end of the exclamatory sentence whenever you're expressing some emotion. Okay, whenever you're expressing some feeling, then you use your exclamation mark. That ride was fantastic. You're happy about it, so that's why you have used an exclamation mark over there. Apostrophe, to mark the omission of a letter or letters. Whenever you are omitting some letter over there, then you use your apostrophe. Okay, to form plural of sentences and figures, and to also use the possession, to also show the possession. Like whenever it is like, I only get A's and B's. Okay, Timmy's bike. Like if whenever you're showing some possession about somebody, then also you use apostrophe. Then it is your inverted commas, to enclose a quotation of words spoken by a person. If it is a quotation, if it is a statement, okay, like he said, she said, then you use your inverted commas. Okay, now these types of sentences we'll be doing in the next class. Thank you, students.